So I just want to take a moment to talk about financing. It's a big question I'm getting a lot at the moment, and let's look at real estate in general speaking. I mean, what ends up happening when financing is less available, that generally is when the opportunities are there. If financing suddenly becomes looser and more available in the US, what you're going to see is you're going to see more speculators, more people rushing into the market. So while it's very challenging as a Canadian to get finance, that doesn't mean that there's not great opportunities and that you shouldn't look at alternatives. Some of those alternatives, well, for example, if you want to buy US real estate right now, if you want to buy a second home, like a lifestyle property, traditionally you will get financed locally with about 20% down from any of the major banks in the US. If, however, there's a new breed of Canadian heading south looking at investments for cash flow because affordability is getting a little bit out of control in Canada, hard to make the numbers work, and therefore they're heading south. Very challenging to get financed in the US. There's some local banks which I would recommend away from the major players that do have flexibility, do have some funding available, and if you build up relationships there, it is possible to get funding, albeit putting down more money. Some Canadian banks are active in the US, RBC for example, but I don't have a definitive, this is their policy because it's changing, because it's there's a lot of turmoil in the financial industry right now, naturally enough. Other ways is release equity from your home in Canada. I'm not a massive advocate of releasing and highly leveraging again. If you've spent 10 or 20 years paying your mortgage down to 50% or 30%, don't go back up and leverage it back to 80% just to go and take advantage of the US. To me, that's too much. But it is an option. Private financing is an option, but it's very, very expensive. And if you don't have a quick exit mechanism, you could be cut out. And joint ventures, where you can actually joint venture with somebody where you can be the property person and put the time, energy and effort in, and they actually lend the money into the relationship. So there's a couple of ways to look at financing in the US, and hopefully that's quite useful. In relation to where the book is available, it's available in all major bookstores and online houses, if you like, and that's all I have to say on financing.